Hello, everyone. NWE War Reports here with the January 20th, 2023 Zaporozhye front update here. No longer breaking news because we reported on it yesterday, but a large Russian offensive, a broad Russian offensive across multiple and a long area of the front has started in the south of Zaporozhye. So we are going to jump right to that in the area of Orekhiv. There appears to be some pretty significant Russian gains here. Now, since the last time I showed you guys this map, I have updated this front line roughly to match what the ISW map shows on their front line. That way, we can clearly see the changes in the front here. And as you can see on this map here, this area, Dorozhenka, Mirny Zagurny, was claimed to have captured by the Russians, closer to the beginning of January, end of December, in the last couple weeks. This is the new area where the Russians have launched an offensive. So the towns of Lobkove, let's actually get kind of zoomed out here. And let's move this so we can zoom back in a little bit and get names of all the towns here. So we have, just give me 1 second, we'll go pull up this map on the other side so I can get all the names of these towns right. So the Russians claim that they have captured, where did Lobkove go? Oh, there we go. We weren't zoomed in for enough. All right, so once again, Lobkove, Mala Sherbaki, Nestryanka, Novopokrovka, and then partially under Russian control where their forward advanced troops are Novoandriivka, Novodanilivka, and Mala Tokmachka. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 captured towns by the Russians. An additional 1, 2, 3 towns that there's active pitched battles in the middle of, with 2 more towns of Stepove and Bila Gira, which are right on the doorstep of the Russians here. So what you're looking at is a Russian advance, roughly looking something like this right here. So quite a significant amount of territory that's been captured by the Russians in the last few hours. If you'll see here, there's just a ton of fields in these areas. At first, they talked about how this assault had started off as a reconnaissance in force. I have to say, should these claims hold up and be true, it would represent a very significant advance and a very significant and broad offensive. In terms of what the Ukrainians are saying, they're claiming that they have repelled Russian attacks on Mala Tomachkala and Stepove. But I'd have to say, the claim about repelling attacks on Stepove kind of indirectly confirms that the Russians have at least captured Lobkove, and then the claims of attacks on Mala Tomachkala, Mala Tokmachka, sorry, I'm pronouncing that completely wrong, kind of indirectly claims that the Russians have advanced past Novopokrovka. So, in my opinion here, there's pretty clearly at least 2 of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towns, absolutely we can confirm have fallen into Russian hands. Likely, at least 3, and then it seems like the news of these 2 towns can be confirmed rather easily in the next few days. So we will see here. This offensive kind of came out of nowhere. It's kind of surprising in terms of, Russia attacking on this front now. It makes sense because this is one of the most vulnerable directions for the Russians. Obviously, if the Ukrainians can successfully attack to the south towards Melitopol or Berdyansk, they can really do some damage to the Russian forces in the south and cut them off from mainland Russia. So it's basically, just one quick movement to encircle tens of thousands of Russian troops here. So by the Russians engaging in this assault first, capturing ground from the Ukrainian side, it kind of mitigates any possibility that the Ukrainians might have at this assault. Now, I do have to say, a Ukrainian counterattack is obviously possible, and all of the gains that the Russians have made so far can be reversed. However, these gains have been rather rapid. If you look at the map here, you see all of this ground. This is much bigger than this territory here is much bigger than the territory you're seeing around Bakhmut and Soledar that's recently come under Russian control. So, it's definitely a concerning point of the front for the Ukrainian side. In addition to that, we have information of Russian assault that has managed to capture the high ground south of the town of Malinivka near Guliapol. So you see this hill here, 198 meters. There's another high ground in this area here that's not really showing up on the map. I guess you can see it right here. It's 176 or 166 meters here. Malinivka is apparently in a dip right here. You see all of these hilltop points in a circle around it. So the Russians allegedly have captured this high ground here and are advancing on Malinivka. And then Ukraine claims that they've repulsed attacks in the area of Velika Novosilka on the town of Novosilka, which is right here. So broadly across the entire Zaporozhye front and into the southern Donbass front, you do have a lot of activity going on, and mainly offensive activity from the Russians. And honestly, this isn't a good sign, because this is formerly the most quiet section of the entire front. Not a lot of fighting since the start of war has been going on here. It's mainly been pretty stagnant, pretty much a stalemate, only just artillery shelling back and forth here. All right, guys, that's it from me on this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Everyone have a great day.